Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I've been silent on a topic for a very long time. I never talked about this topic because I always thought it was very sensitive, extremely sensitive. The Meg the Stallion, Tory Lanez situation, it was sensitive. But the one thing that I've always noticed in this situation is people picking sides without any tangible evidence of either. And that's what I tried not to do. My stance is always going to be very, very simple in regards to this particular situation. If Tory Lanez did this, I condemn it. If it was as described, if it was as alleged, if it was as recorded on document or whatever that's out there, if it's as it's alleged, then I think Tory was wrong. I think Tory was wrong, and I would love to hear what actually happened there. I felt bad for everyone involved that night. But I'm going to tell you guys something. I remember looking at Meg the Stallion's post about maybe a week before this incident occurred. And my intuition just started flaring up. It was a post where she was congratulating her good friend who had just gotten out of jail. And she was a good friend of hers, one of her besties, been in jail longer than she had been famous. And, she was coming out and she was going to show her friend the whirlwind she was in. She was going to, do what it do. When your friend gets out of jail, you know what to do. When you're a superstar, you take them all around the world. You show them what the life is like. You put them in that whirlwind you're in and y'all ride it out. But the thing I know about those situations is when you ain't been famous with the friend that you have, and then they come back and you are famous, you, the famous person, are often going to try to show them that you're still the person you used to be. The person before the money, the person before the fame, the person before all the limelight. Even though you're going to show them the limelight, you also going to still try to keep it, as they remember it, authentic. You know what I mean? You don't, last thing you want to act as all Hollywood around your homegirl, especially when she was with you from day one. And she don't know the Hollywood side of you, but since you've gotten famous, things change. I've seen that movie before. Growing up in LA, I've actually seen that movie before. In real life. When your homeboy get out, now you're trying to do too much. And something usually goes wrong. And whether it be you trying to do too much in terms of bringing that homeboy or that homegirl out, and then they act up because they used to be on the inside, and now they don't know how to behave in the circles that you now bring them into, or a situation where they end up jealous of you because of what it is that you've accomplished, or they see in you the changes that are just natural because you done made it now, and life ain't the same, and they sense that you're trying to overcompensate for what it used to be when it ain't that no more. All of those different things can come play into account when you bring a friend who's been in jail into a situation where now it's nothing but success and fantasy land. Basically, it's the heaven on earth type of, I'm a superstar, I got all the money in the world and everything I want is got yes men around me and all that. When you bring somebody who's been in confined prison space to that, the whirlwind is crazy, and a lot of times it goes left. And my intuition, like I said, when I saw that post, I was like, something in my head said, uh-oh. And it wasn't even a situation where I just kept scrolling. I sat there for a minute too, and I was like, something's off. Something is off. Like, I felt it, y'all. I'm telling you. I literally felt something was wrong. And I just left it alone. And then a couple days later, this situation occurs. The friend who had just gotten out of jail was involved. She was in the car when all this whatever happened took place. And now that the story is starting to unfold with all these different things being alleged, there's a TMZ report coming out that's saying that, basically disputing Meg's side of things. Meg has come out and made a statement saying that she felt like, they're trying to make it about a situation where she was fighting with the friend instead of actually being assaulted with a weapon. I heard rumors and different people saying what they thought happened, various things. you hear around the way. One of the things that I heard was disputing Meg's point of view, basically saying that she was not fighting with Tory, but actually fighting with her friend, and they threw Tory under the bus to keep her friend from being the one, who would have to take the brunt of that. Why does that make sense? Because her friend just got out of jail. If her friend is the one shooting the weapon, guess what happens? Her friend goes back in the pen. Now, if it's between me, my homie, and some industry dude that we just met, her industry boyfriend, she gonna pick her homegirl. Why? Because the same thing I said in the first 5 minutes of this video. Because she has to make sure that she stays down. That's her day one. She can't dick over her day one. You understand what I'm saying? She can't do that. That's not her. That's just not how that works. Tory gonna be the one that goes under the bus. That's how that goes. And there was a lot of different stories coming out about her side of the story not adding up. Details about how it was glass that was initially found in her foot. Her saying it was glass, and then her saying it was a gunshot. Then it was her getting shot in both feet. And then it was... The stories didn't add up. They just didn't add up. And I know I got a lot of people online that I follow, they really took Meg's side, and rightfully so. If this is what happened, then of course you take Meg's side. But I'm not an idiot. I don't look at a situation and say because everything lines up to where we can condemn that man, or everything lines up because it looks like a certain way, that it actually may be that way. You got to pay attention to what the details are, because it's very easy to set somebody up like this. Because nobody's going to question anything. Look how fast they jumped on Tory. All the evidence shows you that a man who has some sense in his mind, if he believes the details of the story, you're going to condemn Tory. You ain't going to want to hear from him. You ain't going to do nothing but sock him in his face when you see him, if that's how serious you take these type of things. Like, you ain't going to even ask questions. So a person who's savvy enough to set something up is going to make sure you don't. Now, again, if Tory did do this, there's been accounts alleged that he told her to dance, said dance B, and shot at the ground as she was doing it, like on some Back to the Future 3 stuff. If he did that, he's wrong. I ain't got nothing good to say about a man who does something like that to a woman on any level. I don't care if you're drunk. I don't care if y'all ain't arguing or what. If he did that, I'm with everybody who's saying he needs to get canceled. Period. He gotta go. Jail, all that. But there's also been accounts that she was fighting with her friend. That's another thing that's being floated around. That it was actually a fight between her and her friend. Her friend was actually the one who was closest to the weapon when it was discharged. That's what was alleged from what I read, came from an eyewitness. So I don't know. The story's all over the place. We don't have any details, but I see a lot of civilians, most of them who are not independent thinkers, respectfully, they're just not, picking a side and condemning everybody who's thinking otherwise. And the fact of the matter is, we don't have any evidence of anything other than we saw the aftermath of them being arrested. We saw Meg's foot was hurt. We certainly saw the scar of Meg's foot. And then we heard Meg's account. And that Meg's a woman. And that Meg's a superstar. Tory's a guy. Tory raps about shooting guns sometimes and stuff like that. Tory raps about gangster stuff. And it all lines up perfectly. But here's what I remember. Meg's friend, right after it happened, you know what Meg's friend was on? I ain't had nothing to do with this. She didn't say Tory shot nobody. She didn't say Meg did anything. She didn't say nothing. She just said, I had nothing to do with this. That's all homegirl who got out of jail had to say. Now, I know when my best friend gets into it with somebody and my best friend ends up shot and I'm in the car, I'm not thinking I didn't shoot the gun, because of course I didn't shoot the gun. I'm her friend. You see what I'm saying? There's no reason for me to even come out and say I didn't shoot the gun. But wait. Accounts that I've read also said that she had gun residue on her hand. Why would she have gun residue on her hand? Did Tory have gun residue on his hand? I don't know. But the stories are all over the place. The accounts are all over the place. And quite honestly, I haven't seen footage of anything that would allow me to think that I can lean one way or another. But yet I hear Meg fans condemning the hell out of people who are taking the side of Tory. I hear Tory fans condemning the hell out of people who are taking the side of Meg. And then I hear what everyone's talking about, etc. And then I look at what I am paying attention to. And everything that I'm paying attention to tells me that Meg's story do not add up. That Tory, in his album, the couple albums that he made since, was basically begging her and insinuating all of what he said, all of what was alleged, which was, in his music, he's essentially saying, from what I was able to gather from some of the songs from previous albums, he was essentially saying that he's in love with Meg, and that Meg just abandoned him, and that he didn't do this, and that she know he didn't do this, and that her people is kind of pushing her in the direction of doing this, and she didn't want to lie. That's what he's saying. She didn't even want to lie. You know, deep down in love, you were in love with me, is what he's saying. But yet you got people all over telling you which way to go for your career, which way to go, and they're gonna throw me under the bus. But at the end of the day, I forgive you because I love you and I know what we had, and I know what you've been through. I know the strain you've been through. That's what he's saying. You know, and this hurt me, but I understand what we're going through. I understand it. I just wish you could allow me to. Why do you keep muzzling me? Why do you keep telling these people not to let me talk? That's what Tory's saying. And then I see him getting blackballed by Apple Music. He has one of the best albums out right now. You don't even see it. So clearly the machine's behind Meg. Regardless of what the truth is, the machine is moving in a direction that would take her op and push him to the side to where we can't even see his music. Because he's op at this point if he shot it, right? I mean, that's just what it is. So the machine is behind her, covering her up. You got a fan base who ain't thinking for themselves, essentially looking at all this questionable stuff, but still taking her side because she's just flat out a woman and she's famous and it's a guy and he did some stuff and that's it. And then nobody wants to think after that, which is fine. But for those of us who are not attached to that, we look at the evidence, and the evidence points and says, Meg lying. Meg friend ain't being forthcoming. And Tory's lying to protect Meg. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. Now, what I think happened, I think, honestly, some people got drunk. Probably all that happened. Probably everything that was accounted for happened. I think the people were so drunk and high out of their minds, it was probably a fight going on. It was probably him shooting his gun. It was probably chaos. Complete and utter chaos. Because you got homegirl just got out of jail, and two superstars who are in love with each other, who happen to probably be inebriated in the car at the same time. Nothing good was going on in that damn car. They wasn't praying in that car. They wasn't in there talking about how they gonna end world hunger in that car. Whatever was going on, they was sinning. They was acting up. They was being young. They was having fun. They was being millionaires with fame attached to their names. However that go. Probably trying to impress the girl that just got out of jail. Both of them probably. So my thing is, whatever happened in that car, none of them being honest about it. I'm not jumping on Meg's side. I'm not saying Tory's the man and he's just being thrown under the bus, but I am saying all the evidence that I read looked like he is being thrown out of the bus. It looks like Tory is getting the worst of this so that Meg's friend can keep from having to go back to jail for probably ever for violating her parole for accidentally or deliberately shooting that gun. That's what it looked like. So, that's what I've been holding in for the last year. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time because everything about this situation did not rub me the right way as it pertains to what Tory's taking back versus what Meg looked like. She looks like she's the grandest person in the world, the victim, the most beautiful victim, and yet she keeps getting caught in lies over and over and over again in regards to the situation. She even lied to the cops when it happened. And people gave her a pass for lying to the cops because essentially it looked as if she was lying to the cops to protect Tory. But then she threw Tory under the bus after that and then muzzled him. And then from there proceeded to have her machine blackball him. So I don't know how much protecting of him she was actually doing, nor should she be looking to protect him if he shot her. But if he didn't shoot her and she's throwing him under the bus, that's all bad. That Carl Crawford situation stuck out in my mind too. Carl Crawford, Jay Prince situation that happened several months prior to that shooting. It was alleged that Meg was trying to basically use Rock Nation to bully herself out of a contract with Carl Crawford that they signed in good faith. The numbers weren't necessarily where they wanted it to be, but it was still something she signed in good faith. That was what I understood it to be. They bullied their way out of there. Rock Nation pulled strings, got up out of that. But that left a bad taste in my mouth as it was understood. It made it look like Meg was doing something that wasn't so good. Then we fast forward. Rock Nation. I don't know where they stand with Tory. But I'm pretty sure if you scratch a sniff there, you'll find something. Especially since you understand that Tory Lanez, if you follow him as a musician, he's talent. You know, a lot of people have to be in the machine in order to gather the attention of others. He's not one of those. He can do it all by himself. Produce, rap, sing, he does it all. He doesn't need a soul. So that's leverage in this music business. I know that. Meg ain't like that. She don't produce, she raps. She's visual, but she's not musical. So she would need a machine to keep her hot. Tory don't need that. That's leverage. But anyway, all of this just smells bad to me. That's why I want to talk about it. It feels like it's the right time to talk about it. I want to take the opportunity to congratulate Meg for graduating. I thought that was a big deal. That's a great thing. I don't care what the truth is in regards to the situation. That's separate, and that's awesome. It's a great display. I understand Meg lost her mom recently before this situation happened, so I know she's in a whirlwind. Whatever happened after that, I don't blame her. Trying to protect her homegirl after losing your mom, I get that on a level that most people won't. I get it. Again, I get it. It's just when you get caught, you know what I'm saying? When people can see through it, when not everybody is stupid, you know what I'm saying? It's one of them things. You know, she used the word gaslighting today. In her tweet, she was just saying, you know, in regards to that, she thinks like people are gaslighting her. I think that's a trigger word. And I think that's a word that is used a lot of times to, you know, paint a certain type of picture. That's a word I would use if I were in a think tank, a machine that would try to gather the emotions of those who are not thinking for themselves. I would use words like gaslighting to silence those who are questioning what it is I'm talking about. I would use that. See, that's the problem with me, y'all. I think like that. Like, I don't act that way, but I can see those angles. So you can't run that game on a person like myself. I'm going to look straight through that. I'm going to see it. All in all, I don't have any evidence. All I'm looking at is tea leaves. That's what my brain does. I read tea leaves. And what I'm telling you is the Meg side of the game it's not a lot of to hang your hat on over there. It's a lot of lies. It's a lot of murkiness. It's a lot of funniness. It's a lot of machine. It's a lot of convenient. What's the word? Convenient circumstances that would allow for a lack of question asking. Meg's a woman. Meg's a star. Tory's a dude who talks about shooting guns. He shot her at the end. Nothing. We don't have to ask no questions. Condemn him. Throw him in the pit of hell, and nobody ever has to hear from him. And Meg goes on to be a superstar, and she's a woman, and she was a victim, and it's all great as long as he never gets heard from again. But nah, not for those of us who have the brains to see things a different way, who are not emotional about various things, who don't have the experiences to kind of have our emotions attached to certain views. Nah, I don't have those. I'm a neutral party. I'm just looking at what I see and somebody lying, and it ain't just one sided. It's both sides ain't telling the truth. I'm just be real. Both sides are lying. Both sides are withholding truth. Tory wants to tell his truth. I guess he's been muzzled, so we haven't heard his side really, except for the little insinuations that he put in the music, which makes him sound like he had some form of Stockholm syndrome. While she's throwing him under the bus, he's begging her for to come back. I don't know. Hopefully he got over that if that's what it was. And then Meg is hopping on TV with devil horns and stuff like that. All that stuff lends to the bad energy that I'm talking about, man. Devil horns, a black woman wearing devil stuff? I don't know. That's not us. I don't know. Am I tripping? Maybe I'm looking at that a different way, but that ain't, I don't know. All I know is she's in the machine. She's going to do what the machine tells her to do, and it's going to make a lot of money. She's going to be very, very successful so long as she stays in that machine, but there's just one problem. Tory's talent. See, if Tory was the type of guy who could only do one thing and you could like silence him, get him up out of here. But as long as Tory's continuing to drop classic albums, we're always going to wonder if something else is going on. Just off the sheer fact that he ain't going to go away. That's all I'm saying. It's like, he's not going to go away. He's going to keep dropping super music. And every time he does, even if they try to silence him, it's going to bring back the conversation of, is he being blackballed for the right reasons? Or is he being thrown under the bus so that she can protect her friend? My name is BDL44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.